It was an incredible opportunity to do things differently and change the way that we treat adversity as a risk factor for chronic disease. We came from Kingston to Palo Alto when I was about 4.5 years old. Being a Black immigrant, growing up in a pretty affluent, upper middle class, primarily Caucasian and Asian society, how I define myself and finding folks to relate to, I was a little bit fish out of water. I've always been fascinated by science and the body and how it works. At age 5, I wrote a letter to my doctor and I said, why is it that when I want to move my toe, it moves? And I don't think I understood at the time how complicated of a question that is. My dad is a biochemist. We grew up looking at the world through a molecular lens, and my mother is a nurse. When we were kids, we would go after school and sit with her patients and read their mail and do their crossword puzzles with them. For me, I feel like I've always wanted to be a doctor. At the time that I started at California Pacific Medical Center, there was only one pediatrician in practice in Bayview Hunters Point for more than 10,000 kids in the population. That felt like an incredible injustice, but it also felt like an incredible opportunity. I was on the job for about 2 weeks, and I said, you know what, we really need to open a clinic in Bayview Hunters Point. And in March of 2007, the clinic opened its doors. I started out as the founding physician, and for the first 4.5 years, I was the medical director. The greatest health threat that I saw for most of my patients was their exposure to trauma and adversity. I was working with a psychologist at the time who walked into my office and said, you know, Dr. Burke, have you seen this? And it was the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study. Was like, oh, when a child is exposed to a traumatic event, that releases a whole biologic cascade of hormones and chemicals and changes to our DNA and our immune system. If it goes from just being this amorphous, he had a difficult childhood, to saying the experiences that he had dysregulated his fight or flight system, that's something that we can intervene with. We no longer are writing off these children, not only from a societal standpoint, but from a health standpoint. We are at a tipping point where we are with the science of understanding how adversity affects the developing brains and bodies of children. It's incredibly exciting. If we're successful, and I think that we will be, just imagine not only the number of lives that we transform, but the way that our society looks and feels. I know that we are breaking